20-point game for Virginia out front. Their largest lead was 24, and a completely different squad we're looking at after their first quarter, where they were down 24-9. Tulane was very good to start defensively. Whittington went out, a little bit of a left leg scare, came back into the ball game, but just couldn't get things going and rolling again offensively for the Green Wave. Talked about the new additions too and how they've been able to step up after Kiera Middleton, their starter, suffered a season-ending ACL tear earlier this season. Baseline drive, short. Lawson comes down with the rebound. Clark left alone, dials it up. Power move by McGee over the top.
I see you, freshman, staying on the offensive glass, finding your spot, putting it down.
Virginia has hit their last 5 shots from the field. Beautiful touch at the glass for Chiara Grattini.
Oh, Tulane's needed more of that much earlier. Grattini, she had a highlight reel going in that first and second quarter, I thought, and she was a bright spot for them, but she's been on the bench for quite some time.
Odessa Noyen blocked at the rim by Ba. They'll get it back underneath with 133 left in this ball game. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Paris Clark able to knock down another triple. That'll be 15 for Virginia in this ball game. And you mentioned it off the top, just how Virginia had a bit of a slump in shooting from outside, and we're seeing a much different game from them outside.
You know, and Coach Mock says that we are a team that also plays with a chip on our shoulder. She said that about Kamora Johnson in particular, but she said that's how we play. And so they have been waiting to get a chance to showcase their three-point shooting. And I will say that the Cayman Islands Classic has been the right place to do it, because that three-point shooting has gotten them the win today.
Virginia looking for their first win against Tulane in the series and are well on their way to making sure they get things done in that department. Tulane has a 3-0 series matchup. Katie Polly was coming off that screen like she was ready to knock it down. Heavily guarded. Outside, McGee no good. Bounces around a little bit. Last minute of play, and Vaughn, of course, able to knock it or grab it back. And a foul on the floor will go against Ba.
And, you know, these are the great opportunities with 5 players in the game, you know, that outside of McGee, who didn't start this game, to get some time together. But they're running sets all the way through to the last option. Can't you hear your coach say, okay, last option on this one? They literally waited for that double screen, and McGee got the open look. Obviously did not fall, but these are the situations you want to see your team come through in.
Last time these two saw each other, it was November 28th of 2015. Tulane won by 5. We're seeing a different result so far today to kick things off for Cayman Islands Classic.
I want Polly to score again. Put it up. Put it up, Polly, from anywhere.
Well, Polly so far has been outstanding. Had 2 triples earlier today. It felt like even more than that as she's sitting at 8 points. 3 players so far in double figures for Virginia. And Vaughn just taking her time with it at this point. Pulls up. Nothing there. And Tulane finally able to corral it in. Last 10 seconds of the ball game. We'll see if they make a shot attempt. And that will do it for Virginia as they move on and go to 4-1 on the season. And the Tulane Greenway will drop to 3-2, and Virginia getting their first win against Tulane in the series. So Coach Mox has to be happy with how her team was able to finish off in the second half, winning this one by a margin 81-59.
Yeah, you know, this is not what we thought at the very beginning of this game. Virginia came out looking sluggish. They were slow. Tulane just punched them in the mouth. And then the second quarter, and everything changed. Coach Mox really rallying her team. They did it defensively. They did it from the three-point line. It was a collective effort. Only a few players in this game didn't score for Virginia, but everyone got to see playing time.
I mean, this team shooting 42% from the field after shooting at one point 20% in the first quarter really turned things around. But I think the three ball was the saving grace for Virginia after seeing that first one go down. It was a different story for the Cavaliers after that. Finished with 14 threes. And so 3 players finish in double figures. I know that the high scorer was Yanta Vaughn. We talked about the sophomore in her second season doing phenomenal, leading with 14 points. But there were different players.
Yeah, and I think that was the best part of it, Angel, was watching these individual performers step up and play. I mean, players like Katie Polly got going. Obviously, Sam Brunell, we knew she would, but so many different players got up. I cannot believe that Yanta Vaughn is ending up to be the leading scorer when so many others, right, had such great performances early on. She played great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are joined by Coach Mox, the winner of this game, and congratulations, getting the first win in the series against Tulane. Hopefully she can hear us, but Coach Mox, congrats on the win. We were just wondering what the second quarter speech was. Going into that quarter, things changed around, and I know that you have a lot of scoring on your team, but to see Katie Polly come off of the bench and really impact, what did you see in her play?
Yeah, I mean, we just weren't playing with any urgency, and I don't know. I mean, people were in their heads a little bit just with the poor shooting that we had against Oklahoma last game, and I think I had to kind of get them out of that and just build a little bit more confidence, like instill some confidence in them, and also get our energy going. So I mean, I got a little fired up in there, but our leaders stepped up, and Katie Polly, that was great off the bench. She didn't even touch the floor last game, and for her to come in with that kind of confidence boosted us.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about the three-point shooting, right? We talked yesterday, like, do you talk much to your players about it? Clearly, whatever you did worked, because you went from having the game you did against Oklahoma to coming in this one and hitting 14 threes. What can you say about the effort from your team from long range?
Yeah, you know, sometimes people, you know, just fall off the deep end or just like nobody shoot threes.
Yeah.
And just, you know, but I'm somebody that wants to empower kids and wants them to believe in themselves, honestly. And I know we have some great shooters. I've seen it in practice. I've seen it in scrimmages. It just hadn't clicked when the lights were on. So I just told them, look, our shot selection wasn't great in Oklahoma. We took contested threes, so let's take open shots. If somebody's flying out at you, get to a pull-up jumper or set somebody else up. So our shot selection was something that we focused on this week, but I did not want people to start second-guessing themselves. All the work we put in preseason and summer, I knew it would fall.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about injuries being an issue for you guys early on, right, in this season. Now you've got people back, and you've watched people come in. I know you're still trying to find that chemistry, but how happy were you about some of those individual performers that stepped up today? Obviously, you talked about Katie Polly, but Yanta Vaughn leading your team in scoring today.
I mean, I'm really proud of them, and that's the thing. The beauty of our team is we're deep, and I think deep teams do well in postseason. So we just got to get our chemistry going. But everybody kind of stepped up in their own right. I was just really happy to see it fall for some people that have been struggling. But I think in that first quarter, we were really struggling. I think I almost subbed in everybody on the team, right? So it's a blessing to have that many kids that I know I can put in, especially if we're trying to get going. And I just had to find the right rotation, the right group of 5 kids that had that spark. But I do think we're going to be a deep team all year.
Coach, and you're looking at now, you secure the win on day 1. Now you have the defending champs on day 2, and they were able to get a little bit of a scout in as the game came to a close. I know you want to celebrate this one, but looking ahead as well, what's the message there and some things that we can look forward to for tomorrow?
Yeah, well, first of all, the message coming in here was about Tulane. You know, I didn't want to hear anybody talking about LSU. That wasn't our next game. Our next game is Tulane. That's the most important game on our schedule. So now we'll celebrate this. We rallied. We were able to get a good win. as soon as we walk out of that locker room, it's going to be about LSU. But yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for us. It's early in the season. You know, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I have a lot of respect for Coach Mulkey and her team, and it's just a great opportunity. So we just want to seize the moment.
Coach Mox, hopefully we'll have that speech that you had going into the second quarter on some tape for other coaches and teams as well, because it definitely worked. Congrats on moving on to 4-1, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. All right, so a great game to kick things off here at the Cayman Islands Classic, as we have another one on deck as Virginia, or actually LSU, taking the floor against Niagara. But to start things off, Tulane in Virginia. Great game. Tulane started off strong, and Virginia finished even stronger as they were able to win 81-59 in a great showing by three of the top players on her team. Sam Brunel knocking things down from the three-point line in a performance that was great to see from the sophomore, and Yanta Vaughn, who really got things going, led them with 14 points. They move on to 4-1, then continue to see great things from Coach Mox in her second season. We got more basketball coming up from the Jim Gray Gymnasium right after the break. The scenery doesn't get much better than this, so we thank you for joining us for the Cayman Islands Classic, the inaugural women's tournament here in the Cayman Islands. Beautiful day that we have for today, and an even beautiful day for basketball that we have here at the John Gray Gymnasium. Our second game of the day is between Niagara, the Purple Eagles, and the defending champions in the LSU Tigers. We already have one game under our belt. Virginia defeated Tulane 81-59 after a slow start from them in the first quarter. We saw an incredible finish for the Cavaliers to take on their fourth win of the season. They move on now to 4-1. And we thank you for joining us here in the arena. I'm Angel Gray alongside the former national champion in Kelly Tellyo, and we had a great show for the first game. A couple of things you can take away from that one.
Yeah, I mean, the tremendous shooting of Virginia. Obviously, they had a poor shooting night against Oklahoma. Came out in this one, hit 14 threes on the game. Everyone contributed. An awesome performance by the Cavaliers.
All right, now we have another one on our hands with Niagara, taking on the defending champions with LSU. And we'll start with the opposing team and a couple of things you want to see from them.
Well, you know, in particular from Chardonnay Hartley. This is a point guard who leads this Niagara team. 5 assists per game, 3 steals a game. She's one of the 2 transfers that is starting for this Niagara team. And this, remember, a team without their 2 leading scorers and sisters, Angel and Aaliyah Parker. So her representation on the floor is going to be big today.
And on the other side, Samaya Smith is a player that's really stood out to you.
You know what? With a team full of star power, Samaya Smith is one of my favorite players to watch. She does everything. Can hit the shot, can rebound, can defend. She's all over the floor. She is a game changer for the LSU Tigers.
And that's their transfer, the #1 transfer in the portal that's coming in for Haley Van Lith. They have back-to-back transfers in their portal for LSU, with Angel Reese being one of those players that was #1 in the portal just 2 seasons ago. We'll go over to the LSU huddle as we look at their starting lineup that will take the floor today. And they have a very potent one, as we mentioned, Haley Van Lith, the transfer from Louisville. Michaela Williams, who is the #2 overall recruit coming out of high school, has been phenomenal and a leading scorer for them. Anissa Morrow, another transfer from DePaul. And then you can see Flau'jae Johnson back in the rotation for them after coming off of the bench for LSU right away. Smith gets the ball on the inside. A foul is committed, and so with a couple of ticks off the game clock, LSU will get 2 free throws.
Well, that's why I love her. Her ability to get up, receive the ball, go up strong.
And the starting lineups for Niagara: Chardonnay Hartley, Amelia Strong, Destiny Strother, a player that you definitely want to keep your eyes out on. Laura Parter and Sage Glover will round out the starting rotation for the Purple Eagles. Smith off the mark for their first free throw.
Niagara, a team, Angel, that led the nation in steals per game and turnovers forced per game. So they are a team that hangs their hat on the defensive end.
We'll see if they can get the stop here. First series of the play started with a foul, and Michaela Williams, just one of those potent scorers, puts her team on the board first.
That girl knows how to score a bucket. 42 points in a game recently, 30 in the second half. She can get going and get hot.
And for LSU, 5th in scoring this season as well as last season, they are scoring 97 points per game. And you wanted to see how they were going to turn things around after dropping their season opener to Colorado, who is now 3rd in the nation. So Haley Van Lith brings the ball up, and yes, both teams donning the purple on either side, as Michaela Williams didn't like the look, pull up, and that one a bit off the mark. Hartley on the inside, couldn't get it off to the rim, and so Smith comes out looking up the floor to see if she can get something to Haley Van Lith, and that's picked off.
That's what Niagara does well. They steal the ball in the open court.
And a great shot, honestly, by Chardonnay Hartley, who saw the length on the inside for LSU and decided to pull up.
Yeah, and she is fearless. Just a moment ago, we saw her take it all the way to the rim, didn't make it. Nice to get that 15-foot jumper to fall.
Has 2 20-point games on the season, had 21 versus Duquesne, 20 at Buffalo. Baseline drive by Haley Van Lith. She gets bumped. That foul is going to go against Destiny Strother. And you see Jada Pierce, 9th season at Niagara and coming off of one of their most impressive seasons last year. Had their first postseason tourney appearance last year in the WNIT, set a program record with 16 MAC wins last year and looking to build on it. And when you look at how this tournament is built, and they give you the call, Niagara, you want to play the defending champs, you're like, that's okay. We're going to the Cayman Islands and we're excited to take them on.
And by the way, let's follow that up with playing the number 3 team in the country, UCLA, tomorrow, right? No small task for the Niagara Purple Eagles.
Sage Glover able to knock that one out of bounds. So Flage will just switch sides underneath the basket. And an offensive foul will go against Haley Van Lith for her first personal. And Kim Mulkey on the other side. 3rd season at LSU, already has the title under her belt. 1 as a player as well, 2 at Baylor. So 4 total titles that Kim Mulkey has within her arsenal. Haley Van Lith with the rip and the 2, drops it in. As they're now up 5-2.
Strong defense in the backcourt all over for LSU. Their backcourt is so dominant.
Smith knocks that one to the next stratosphere, but Niagara was able to retrieve it. So Porter, Hartley being defended by Haley Van Lith. Short on the 3, Smith another block.
It's just so much length inside for LSU.
But Smith tried to go after the steal there, and it's actually going to be a foul and a little bit of a dust-up between the 2 players. So Samaya Smith
just going up hard for the rebound. A big block inside by Samaya Smith. Morrow comes up with it, and then just a tussle for the ball and some words afterward.
Yeah. So Alyssa Rossignol.
First foul, black 25. Next one, technical foul on white. Black
Personal foul has been called against Niagara, number 25, Sage Glover.
Okay, so now they are giving the official call to the coaches, and we have a foul that's going to go against Niagara, and that's going to go against Sage Glover, but then also a technical foul that's going to go against Samaya Smith for that small altercation that they had at the top of the key. So Niagara is actually going to shoot 2 free throws and get the ball back.
We were told that they were going to shoot
free throws, and that should be the case. So 2 free throws should be on the way. That's the way that works. And then they will still get the ball back on the back end of that. So a little bit of confusion that we have in the building for today. But yes, Strother will step up to the free throw line for Niagara for the 2 free throws. And we're good to go now.
We're on island time, Angel.
Hey, well, just like my taxi driver told me when he took me to the wrong hotel. Don't worry, be happy.
No delay will take a smile off our faces. Kim Mulkey, I don't know right now, not so happy with her team, or at least that inner action that just happened a moment ago.
So Destiny Strother making this a 1-point game at the free throw line. Charnay Hartley, as you mentioned, just the fearless leader for Niagara, coming in 2-2 on the season. Last year finished 18-13. Trying to find some space on the inside, pulls up from the corner, back iron a bit strong, but an offensive rebound comes down to Niagara and a travel call.
I love the hustle, though, on the offensive glass by Rossignol. Haley Van Lith taking over sole duty of the point guard position. Of course, at Louisville, she was mostly a two-guard. Handled the ball at the point on occasion, but she has been so impressive taking over this offense, earned herself a captain spot, garnering the affections and respect of her teammates.
And that was one of the key things coming into this season, where her fit and transition to that two-guard or the point guard would be. And Kim Mulkey said she's done a phenomenal job with just understanding what her voice is for this team.
She excuse me, Angel, she just knows the game so well, too. So she has a high basketball IQ. She has a voice. She tells her players where to go. If they have questions, they're going to Haley.
Yeah, absolutely. So Flau'jae Johnson able to knock down the free throws, led the team in points just on Monday. And I think her efficiency has been really the storyline of her season so far, shooting 66% from the field. Michaela Williams with a close steal. Glover tried to get it off the backboard and couldn't get there. Haley Van Lith all over the floor but couldn't track it down over Hartley.
Hartley stands at 5'3", but nobody should be telling her that. She picks up the offensive foul on that one, but I love the heart. Going after loose balls, playing like she's 5'11" out there.
Yeah, Alyssa Rossignol will pick up the foul off that screen at the top of the key, and we'll have a substitution for Niagara as Eric Hicks checks in the ball game. Rossignol left alone, had the pump fake, really didn't need it as she gets this to do.
In fact, that almost drew the defense to her. I'll tell you what, you do not get a lot of space and time against this LSU defense.
Screen at the top of the key, Haley Van Lith going baseline, denies it. Flau'jae all the way to the rim, and you would think that she has that all day with her length on the inside.
Yeah, and her quick first step, ability to get into the paint.
Flau'jae standing at 5'10", only player over 6'1" on Niagara is 6'2", and that's Amelia Strong. Back-to-back buckets for LSU as they extend their lead.
Yeah, great tempo to this game. Niagara likes to run as well. They've got a lot of guards on the floor that can push the pace, but they've got to be careful against LSU. They don't want to hurry themselves up. LSU getting started on the defensive end. Haley Van Lith, she knows a thing or two about the defense. Gets the outlet on this one, goes all the way to the bucket and finishes LSU off to a strong start.
That fire that you're seeing from Haley Van Lith really setting the tone on the defensive end for the Tigers. Dickerson, fake top. Corner three off the mark. Another three attempt. Hicks, this one not on the mark as well. Smith rips that one down. Full charge, seeing if she could get something in transition, holding her knee as she took that fall.
Yeah.
That is not something you want to see, as Smith is in obvious pain, holding at that right knee after she tried to take off for the layup. And everyone's, at this point, just silence in the gym.
Samaya Smith, such an integral part of this team. Coach Mulkey says the silent assassin, does everything well. You hate to see her in pain.
Absolutely. This is a team that has worked on, after losing 41% of their production and scoring last year, they have new faces, 2 transfers coming in, and then 2 dominant freshmen as well. But then also losing, at this point for the 3rd consecutive game, Angel Reese. That is not what we've been told, not with the team for this trip. So this is just really tough to see. And really couldn't even take off after that steal on the attempt for the layup. So really just hoping for the best for Samaya Smith. You hate to see any injuries whatsoever. And as you alluded to, just a player, a sophomore with so much promise. Has been really productive for them within this season.
She shoots 66% from the field, just so efficient. But I think it's what those intangibles that she does, and she's up now, and oh, great to see her at least attempt to run.
Now she's like, wait a minute. Yep, I'm gonna see if I could come up on my own wheel, and we'll get assistance off the court.
Almost looked like she had lost her footing as she was going up, like off the wrong leg, and just tried to flip it up at the end. And I just hope that this is a very minor situation and she'll be back on the floor.
So she will go back to the locker room. Hopefully we get an update from LSU, but really just hoping that Samaya is okay, as last tier Poa will actually check in and she'll shoot the free throws because there was a foul on that possession, so she'll get 2.
And this is a team that has had to respond to adversity. Obviously, without Angel Reese in the lineup, I asked Coach Mulkey yesterday, how has your team responded? And she said, hey, you watch practice, they're ballers. They just want to get out and play, and it's next woman up in these scenarios. And so right now, LSU is going to have to dig deep, and other people are going to have to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Angel Reese was benched in the second half of LSU's 4th game of the season. Hasn't played the last 2, including this one, the 3rd game. Is Flau'jae Johnson all the way to the rim. And I think the one thing you think about for Kim Mulkey is the depth that she has within this roster. Just really trying to find things for them to click as Niagara able to respond.
Well, and I imagine the paint is going to be a lot more open without Samaya Smith inside. Her ability to deflect and block and alter shots is big.
Kayla Williams off the mark, and here comes Niagara.
Yeah, Niagara's got to do a better job of ball pressure. LSU way too easy at getting into the paint and getting easy looks.
Niagara right now shooting just 20% from the field. A lot of movement that they're seeing, but forced rhythm within the offense as well. Just off the first pass, coughing that one up. So Niagara looking to put some points on the board. LSU, a couple of new faces on the floor, had the 15-8 lead.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Back to John Gray Gymnasium, LSU with the 15-8 lead. A little over half of this quarter has been played, and really for LSU, it started with Haley Van Lith in her presence on the defensive end that has led to some really big buckets in transition. They did have Samaya Smith leave the game after taking an awkward fall after an attempt to the rim. And she fell holding that right knee. We're hoping for the best. We do not have a response yet on what she'll be able to do coming back to this game. So right now, just a different look. Last year, Poa checks in for LSU. Well, she came in to shoot the free throws, so.
And so on the floor, you've got another ball handler. Last year, Poa, really a backup point guard. So 2 options now to bring the ball up the floor against the pressure of Niagara. They have no problem.
Michaela Williams is just a professional scorer. Had 482 points versus Kent State, was the most by an LSU freshman since 1977. You think about the team that went to the Final Four for 4 consecutive years, and not one player has done that, especially in Simone Augustus. That is the shocker to me.
Yeah, there have been a lot of names going through this program.
So a foul will be against Niagara. It'll go back to LSU. And it should be free throws on the way as a bonus. Now sends LSU to the charity stripe.
Anissa Morrow, the second of that 1-2 transfer punch. Haley Lipp, the #1 transfer in the portal. Anissa Morrow, #2. Kim Mulkey ends up with both of them. And I think that was the question is, what will this team look like? These are both players that could score 40 points on their respective team, right? And so here they come into a system that already has a bunch of superstars. And it's taken Anissa a little bit longer, I think, to find her role, but she has really elevated her game the last few games.
In her debut, went 2 for 8 from the field in the 18 minutes of play. But as you were mentioning, just a very dominant player in All-American eyes, and her and Angel Reese were the only 2 players in the country to rank in the top 10 in both scoring and rebounding last year. So Michaela Williams picks up the foul there on that last series. A couple of substitutions come in for Niagara as they'll get the ball back underneath. Took a while for Niagara to get the ball back in, and another travel called on the inside on the gather.
That's the second call almost in the exact same scenario. So Niagara, they've got to be careful that LSU doesn't hurry them up and do things out of character for this team.
Williams gets the ball, kicks it out to Van Lith, and slips on the floor. Niagara has an opportunity at the rim, and an offensive foul called against Niagara on that clear out for Hicks.
Yeah, last year Poa taking the contact. So the slip for Haley Van Lith, but then Niagara gets off and running in transition, but, oh, excuse me, there was a foul. It was not on the contact. There was a foul underneath. Last year Poa took the brunt of that, and now LSU with the ball.
A lot of contact and a late whistle on the inside on that attempt. So Anissa Morrow should be seeing free throws on this possession.
That's why Anissa Morrow is so difficult, because not only does she turn and face and can shoot from anywhere, she's got post moves as well. I love the spin, standing at 6'1", as you heard earlier, one of the leaders in the nation in rebounding as well last year. But she knows how to utilize her body. She's got a great skill set, and she has been a bright spot for this LSU team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You start to wonder, just not having the presence of Angel Reese, who broke the record for double-doubles within that season. With Anissa Morrow being in and trying to find her way too in the chemistry with this group, she had 53 double-doubles at DePaul. That was within 66 games.
I mean, her name went in that transfer portal, and I remember thinking, whoever picks up this girl has just given themselves a huge gift, and she is to the Tigers.
Niagara gets the ball back, but the foul goes against last tier Poa, who will pick up her first personal foul. So officials just making sure it was given to the right player for LSU. Hicks standing at 5'5", going against Haley Van Lith, and that's deflected, and Anissa Morrow able to come up with the steal.
Well, they run the high ball screen to get Anissa Morrow out of the paint, but it doesn't matter. She takes it on her own and gets a bucket for her teammate. LSU on a roll right now.
Anissa Morrow right now leading this LSU run 8-0, showing us a little point forward in that series.
Right. As a former big, I love any time that our post players put the ball on the floor. Look at that, distributes. Last year, Poa with the finish. It's been all defense turning into offense for LSU. They've been able to get out and run.
So the Tigers found their rhythm. That was later in this quarter as we look at their resume. Coming into this one 5-1 after dropping their season opener to Colorado. Selected first in the SEC and also preseason ranked #1 as well. The story in the offseason was the transfers. How is everything going to play with Haley Van Lith and Anissa Morrow? But now at this point, it's also how they are playing and adjusting to not having Angel Reese, their heartbeat of the team from a season ago, with them on this trip, but also in the last 3 games not being with the team.
And I think, you know, those are those issues that teams oftentimes have to go through. Kim Mulkey said it herself, you know, everyone has locker room issues, but when it's a star power like Angel Reese, I think it just feels different probably for the rest of the basketball world. But LSU as a whole, this is their little team in their mind, right? And so they're going to get past it, and it seems like they have.
Yeah. Michaela Williams dishes it off to Morrow, misses the mark on that attempt.
A great opportunity for Niagara to get some points on the board.
Cross-court pass finds Porter. Porter couldn't knock down the 3, and the rebound couldn't be brought down by Rossignol.
LSU is ferocious on the defensive and offensive glass. They've got at least 3 white jerseys going after every ball.
In their first 6 games, they are a +16 on the glass. There's the triple from Porter.
And she didn't have much space, but she got that off. Flau'jae Johnson almost with the tip.
Michaela Williams left alone, finds a spot on the floor, and she can just light it up from any level on the court.
Yeah, she's been deadly in the middle of that full court pressure, and you know, I think eventually Niagara's got to take off the press, because I would be more concerned about LSU's transition game than I would be trying to get a steal off the full court.
Michaela Williams, 7 points in the 8 minutes of play so far, 3 for 5 from the field. And I think the most impressive thing about Michaela Williams as well is that she is very efficient, shooting 56% coming into this game from the field.
Yeah, and that's from a guard position, right? You see those numbers in the post, but Michaela Williams does not play deep inside that paint. She shoots from long range.
So another travel call on the gather down there, and that's just something we haven't seen within the last 2 calls.
Yeah, I don't see it from my view, and the officials obviously seen something different.
Last minute of play as another triple is up and good. This one going to Destiny Strother.
Well, Destiny Strother was doing this all day long at Pittsburgh, and they needed this scoring big time for this Niagara team.
Van Lith works her way to the middle, finds Flau'jae in the corner. More movement for the basketball, and Michaela Williams knocks down the 2nd triple of the day.
The quick pass from the corner to the wide open Williams. Can Strother do it again? No.
Michaela Williams bringing the ball up the floor. No time on the shot clock. She'll pull it up anyway, and that one misses the mark. Niagara will now be able to have the last possession of this quarter. I wonder if she knew how much time was on the clock, but after going in the previous possession and knocking down that triple, probably was feeling that energy from it.
I think Kim Mulkey probably explained time and possession right there.
As the ball crosses the court, about 10 seconds left in this first quarter. That one stripped away as the time will finally cease within the first quarter. And LSU has a 14-point lead after the first 10.
Angelica Velez in on that one, gets the stop. Only a minute of play for her. The three-point shot has been falling. Michaela Williams, a big part of that. Haley Van Lith and Flage takes it all the way to the bucket. LSU doing everything right in this game.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
For over 35 years, Tortuga has baked the original rum cake in Cayman. From our kitchens in our homes to exporting across the world, proudly baked in Cayman has always been at the heart of everything we do. Our recipe, handed down by 6 generations, has remained a secret to this day. Each Cayman cake is handcrafted and made with love, from our family to yours. Today we honor this tradition with our Cayman rum cake, exclusively made in Cayman, exclusively sold in Cayman. A Cayman tradition to be proud of.
The Tigers have the 14-point lead as we head to the second quarter, and they are without Angel Reese for the 3rd consecutive game, and she's had a busy offseason, as you can see all the accolades named. Most impressive player for the Final Four. Spoke things to an existence as well, because she was in that Cardi B music video as well. She said she wanted to be in a music video. Featured in Time Magazine as the next 100. Coming into this season, was named the AP preseason All-American as well. But I think it's just what you say to her and Angel Reese being the biggest name in women's basketball, hands down, in her following and the notoriety and what she's brought to the women's game as well. Wherever you go, doesn't matter what type of fan you find, they bring up Angel Reese and her impact on women's basketball.
Yeah, she has helped women's basketball elevate to that next level. Remember, the most viewers in history in that final game against Iowa. And, you know, she's been a big part of that. You saw moments ago, Samaya Smith on the bench with that ice on her knee. Great to see her back with her team. Of course, we're wishing her all the best.
Just seeing the numbers and the metrics of just the broad scope of women's basketball, period. I mean, coming off of one of the most impressive seasons in the Final Four for the tournament, and the metrics and the viewership. And just the graphic of them saying that they had more views within the Final Four game, the championship game, than the MLB World Series game is unbelievable.
I know. I mean, you think that's America's pastime, right? Baseball, everyone's tuning into the World Series, but you know what? Everyone was tuning in March and April when the women were playing their Final Four. And, you know, it's so great to see the parity that has become of women's basketball. Players like this, I mean, and I think with the NIL that has happened, you know, these players have become actual names around sports, and not just women's sports, but sports in general. Haley Van Lith being one of those players, too, that got in on this early and really made a name for herself and a brand.
Stepping up to the line for 2 free throws. You mentioned just the names. We can say it across the board for how many brands we have just within this tournament alone. Flage Johnson, another player coming in where already has, as a sophomore within her freshman year, a title under her belt, but signing a Rock Nation and Jay-Z is probably also something that you can add to the bag.
I'll tell you what, the talent of this girl is unbelievable. We were in pregame warm-ups and listening to a Flage Johnson song. I mean, it was on. Can you imagine what hype that brings your teammates and you, right, to hear yourself?
As she comes down with the rebound, one of my favorite things seeing from her, just being a participant on The Voice as well. Just an actual entertainer and talent, no doubt. Anissa Morrow turns around for the baseline fadeaway and drains it.
That's a great shot. Gets separation from her defender. She's such a pure shooter.
Now has 6 points on the day.
Hailey Van Lith is not letting Destiny Strother get the basketball, denying.
Destiny Strother, actually a transfer from Marquette, as Flau'jae Johnson rips that one out of the air and pushes this one up the floor. Anissa Morrow couldn't play cleanup on that last possession, and Niagara pushing up the floor. Hartley found a lane, but dribbles that one off her leg, and it should go to LSU.
I like the thought, but you're 5'3" going in against 4 defenders in LSU. Pull out, take one look, maybe come off a screen, but Niagara has to have better patience.
Especially in the possessions that gives for LSU as well. Knowing the scenario with LSU and game plan, just trying to limit the amount of times they have eyes and looks at the rim. Anissa Morrow, as on that turnover, they're able to score.
If I'm Niagara, I think you got to pack the paint more. I know you've got to get out to shooters, but maybe try a zone, something that you can limit the touches that LSU has been so easily getting in the paint. And now an offensive foul for Chardonnay Hartley.
So that'll be the 12th turnover for Niagara, as Hartley is awestrucken at the call.
And last year, Poa finds Morrow inside for the bucket, and then the other way, Chardonnay Hartley, just too much shoulder, gets the foul. She can't believe it. That's the right call.
Flau'jae bounces it to Michaela Williams. The one-legger gives this a 20-point game for the Tigers.
You got to pull off the press, because as soon as they pass that front line of pressure, now LSU is in an advantage situation. They have the numbers, and they're scoring every time.
As we mentioned, 5th in scoring this season, averaging about 97 points per game, and that is 3 consecutive turnovers for Niagara.
You got to close off that elevator screen, but this is how easy it's been in transition. Michaela Williams, nobody on her, pulls up inside the paint. That's a layup for Michaela Williams.
Michaela Williams with 12 points, the only player in double figures in this ball game, and that's in 12 minutes of play.
One of the many freshman phenoms we have seen around the country. Her 42 points against Kent State caused a lot of people to take notice, but we've had such great performers.
Williams able to bring it back in. Flau'jae at the rim, just short.
So pull up, there you go. Hartley, great decision.
Bounces it in the inside, but that's gonna be denied by Aaliyah Del Rosario. Flau'jae traveled on the play and taking a moment to get up. And that was probably the only chaotic series that we saw from the Tigers today.
Yeah, they have been in control. They have gotten what they've wanted. Even though they're running at a fast pace, it's fully in control. And I think you got to attribute that to what Hailey Van Lith has been able to do. Michaela Williams as well. The ball's been in her hands a lot in the break. But again, I go back to this Niagara team. They are making LSU play at this pace. They don't want to play at this pace. LSU doesn't, or excuse me, Niagara doesn't want to have to run up and down the floor and put up this many shots so early.
So Michaela Williams, seeing if she can add to her point total, and does with the gather on the inside, pushing her total to 14 points, and she has been dominant to start in this first half, and a timeout, no doubt, on the way for Niagara, as the Tigers rolling at this point on an 8-0 run.
Michaela Williams, 14 points already in this game. She's perfect from distance, goes in like a post player. I love the step through freshman. She is doing everything she can, and the teammates are loving it.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping, jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff, only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
LSU has been dominant in this game with their biggest lead of the day, 22 points, but it took a while for us to get to this point as we were a bit delayed getting this one to start. It was a 1:30 tip initially, but we had to be evacuated. The fire alarm was pulled. You can see the Cayman Islands Fire Service very prompt in getting here. And everybody, to pass the time, LSU has a couple of entertainers on their side. It almost looks like a little music video that they've got going on over there. As, of course, if you have Flau'jae Johnson, the swag is not lacking within the locker or even outside on the sidewalk.
I love that Coach Mulkey was getting into it. Haley Van Lith looked like she was leading that music whole thing, but she was, I'll tell you what, it delayed us, but it did not keep us from basketball, and we have been looking forward to this tournament for so long, and the players, the teams, the individual performers, we are in for a treat here at the Cayman Islands, and it has been so impressive.
Delayed but not denied, as we're excited to get this one going. LSU, the 7th-ranked team in the nation and the defending champs, 38-16 over Niagara to start. We had a strong showing in the first 2 minutes, but then the Tigers started playing like the Tigers.
And it has been all LSU. They have really done very little wrong. Any laps that they've had has been their own. And a turnover now for Niagara. Haley Van Lith, I don't think she gets enough credit for her defense. She has been all over every player that she has defended.
This one sails out of bounds and over to our table, so that will be a turnover. The full court press that we saw from Niagara that time.
I think that's the first time we've seen a turnover out of the press, and maybe that inspires Niagara to keep it on. I still say pull it off, but I am not the coach. And I'll tell you what, I don't need to be saying anything against Jada Pierce, who knows a thing or two about defense. Her team led the nation in turnovers forced and steals last season.
Had about 15 steals per game last year and forced 28 per game as Flau'jae Johnson. Beautiful layup streaking to the rim and has 8 points on the day.
You talk about stretching it out right there. I think she took off from the three-point line.
Hicks driving baseline, going at LSU's second line of defense. Kayla Williams already with 14 points. Haley Van Lith. So back-to-back turnovers for Haley Van Lith.
Nobody's stopping ball right now.
And Aaliyah Del Rosario is going to be called for the foul.
LSU in the transition is unstoppable. You've got great perimeter players who handle the ball, and then the perfect pass and the takeoff from the three-point line. And there's
another attempt on the inside. That's blocked away by Anissa Morrow. Haley Van Lith. You got to credit Niagara's transition defense on that series, but losing Del Rosario underneath, and she's able to kiss that one off the glass.
Point guard vision, but last year Poa finds Del Rosario in the paint. Nobody defending her, goes up strong.
Her first points of the ball game. So Amelia Strong held up, finally found some relief. Hicks off the glass, and that rims out. Destiny, or Poa rather, excuse me. Anissa begging for the ball underneath. Might have a little mouse in the house. Denied by Flage. Cross court by Haley Van Lith. And the triple is added to the score as they've knocked down their third of the day.
The cross-court pass has been open on a few different occasions, but it's been the vision of these offensive players to find those open shooters.
This one sails out of bounds, and turnovers have been the Achilles heel to Niagara to start this game, now at 16.
LSU right now knocking things down from outside. Haley Van Lith gets the applause from her teammates. And does Niagara force a turnover? No, it stays LSU ball.
Yeah, they will at LSU, but Charnay Hartley so speedy, so quick, able to knock that one out of bounds. Nothing is going to come easy if they can help it on the offensive end. So Hicks riding Poa's hip. Should be on the side. No fouls on the way for LSU. 14 fouls against Niagara and 2 for LSU. See a couple of the students heading back to class after they were able to take in some of the action, and Anissa Morrow continues to build, and you talked about her getting into a rhythm. What's nice about what you've seen from her and her offensive package today?
Well, you know, I think in particular, right, you have no Angel Reese, and you have now no Samaya Smith. She went down with a lower body injury early in this game. So now I almost think Anissa Morrow feels like she has some permission to step up and be that player that puts up points. I think when you come in, you're just wondering where your place is, and she's really finding it.
Hartley was trying everything she could to get the ball up. They think it's a shot clock violation, but a foul was actually called against LSU. So they'll have a reset and they'll get the ball back.
A lot of stunned faces on the LSU sideline.
Michaela Williams checks back in for LSU. Janae Kent also checking in, the freshman out of Oak Forest, Illinois, and underneath they couldn't get the ball in. So as they reset after that foul that was called, quickly turn it over underneath.
Those are the things you hate to see as a coach because it's a missed opportunity. We've actually seen turnovers on, I think that's the third baseline out of bounds play. 2 were because of travels, but Niagara needs to take care of possessions.
We have stoppage of play. We're going to see where this is called. I'm not sure if it's going to go against Niagara or not. It will stay on this side of the floor, so if that's the case, then there will be free throws because now LSU is in the bonus. So Anissa Morrow, who has been on the block demanding the ball, really, really dominant on the inside for today.
And that foul going against Kylie Buckley, her coach said she's just a freshman, and she is still trying to learn to play without fouling. You know, and I remember that being young and the speed of the game being something I had to adjust to. And, you know, right now her presence on the floor, especially as somebody with a little bit of size on this team, is going to be important.
Yeah, Coach Pierce saying just like an all-state player, athletic forward, actually has a school record back in high school, over 1,800 points that she was able to put up. And they're looking for some of that from her today. Foul on the play, and that will be 2 free throws coming up for Alyssa Rossignol.
Great shot fake to get her defender up in the air, takes one dribble, pulls up. Look good.
So we mentioned it, Niagara coming into this ball game, but first let's look at this foul that was assessed here.
Just got her on the arm. Rosario, an opportunity to try to cut into this lead. They've been sitting at 16 for quite some time.
Well, they have not scored now going on for 7 minutes in this ball game.
And
you
that's
can
where
see Kim Mulkey at the end of the bench with Samaya Smith, who went out of the ball game in the first quarter due to an awkward fall trying to get to the rim on a layup. Has the ice on her right knee at this point. You saw her grabbing at it when she took off and landed at the stanchion.
And she was our player to watch at the beginning of this contest. Hate that we won't be able to see her in action likely for the rest of this game. We hope to see her tomorrow.
Yes.
But such an important part of what LSU can do.
So Rossignol actually picks up the foul here. And if that's Rossignol, then that's actually her 4th personal foul, with Glover as well having 4 within this first half, with still 3 minutes left in the first half.
And that's got to be so difficult for Coach Pierce, because first of all, you need those players on the floor, but you want your players to play smart. And I understand LSU makes you play fast. They make you make quick decisions, maybe sometimes things that you wouldn't normally do, they make you do because they're so good on the defensive end. But Niagara has got to be smarter.
Nice turnaround for another bucket. This one going to Amelia Strong. Amelia Strong with her first bucket of the ball game. Dish on the inside, Anissa having herself a day.
Yeah, you come off and help for just 1 second, and those players will find another player. Great high-low inside.
LSU now with 2 players in double figures, with Michaela Williams, who had the hot start and hot hand in the first quarter. 14 points for Anissa Morrow now.
LSU bench trying to say last year Poa had her feet set. Officials don't agree. We'll get a look at it ourselves. The drive, Hartley gets past Haley Van Lith. I mean, there was movement. I could see the call.
Yeah. So Hartley at the free throw line for the 2nd time today. 3 trips actually to the free throw line for Niagara. And she knocks them both down. You can see the trap at the top of the key. Haley Van Lith had to pull it up. Near steal, Flage Johnson able to get it back, and that's actually knocked away. So great defense on the other side by Amelia Strong. Actually, excuse me, Destiny Strother knocking that one away. Get another hand on the inside. This is Destiny able to come out of the pack. How about the action on that end of the floor? Anissa Morrow with the block.
Niagara finally gets an open look in transition. But Anissa Morrow, the rejection, the miss, actually a block there, and then Strother tries to come in and the volleyball spike.
It's just the dominance in which they want to protect the paint that just makes LSU and a team that wants to continue to get better on the defensive end with this new unit. You can tell the sense of urgency they have there. Crossover by Haley Van Lith, takes the bump, gets the bucket, and we'll get a free throw.
She has put in so much work in the offseason to perfect her body. She is so solid, so strong. You saw the defender just bounce right off of her. Look at ball handler, and then goes right in. The contact, the finish, the response. It's a tough player.
Off the mark there. You said relentless. We have to find another word as well for Chardonnay Hartley. Hartley now with 8 points, 2 for 6 from the field.
She had a smile on her face all the way down to the other end here.
Flage one at the 3, takes a spin move and gets it underneath. Beautiful finish by Flage.
She beat her defender. The help came. It was great. Great job on the defensive end, but Flage still got by the second defender to lay it up.
It was a spin move in avoiding the call on the baseline. Most impressive as we're in the last minute of play in the first half. Van Lith is going to be fouled there, so more free throws on the way for Haley Van Lith.
Flage Johnson, we have said a lot about her game. The fake, the cross, the spin, the finish. Are you kidding me?
Flage checks out for these last few seconds of the first half as Aaliyah Del Rosario checks in the ball game.
And Del Rosario getting a lot more minutes, of course, because Angel Reese out, Samaya Smith out right now, and other players are getting into the ball game early, and that's only good for LSU to gain some experience on the floor.
That was the 18th free throw for LSU as foul trouble piling up for Niagara. 2 players with 4. And Rossignol and Glover. Another steal at the top of the key. Anissa Morrow finishes at the other end, and Strong also with 3 fouls. So LSU pushing their lead 60-23. Haley Van Lith gets the foul there, but just her desire on the defensive end, doesn't matter what the score is, not playing towards the board, but really bringing that energy that we've seen throughout this ball game.
I think that's it right there, Angel. It doesn't matter what the score is for her. She is going to put her heart and soul on this floor every time she is on it, and that's on both ends of the floor. And I think that's where her game has developed so much from those early years at Louisville, where she was really just known as a scorer. She's been committed to work, and it's paying off.
So Hartley at the free throw line for the 3rd time in this ball game, knocks down the first one, and you have to talk about Niagara. Coming into this game last season was one of the best seasons they've had. Finished over 500 for the first time since the 2005 season. And fearless on their schedule to start this year.
And remember, they are without their 2 leading scorers, an Angel and Aaliyah Parker, who are sisters.
So as Flage Johnson was trying to come in on the rebound, she'll actually pick up the foul.
And I think that's just the size of her body. I mean, she went in hard. I actually love that she was going in for it. Look, jumps up, actually retrieves the ball, but because of just how solid she is, knocks over a defender, and she picks up the foul.
So So Rowe able to knock this one down, and we talked about the foul trouble on one end. Only a couple for LSU with 2 as we have a substitution for Niagara. So Marley Dickerson checks in the ball game. Angelica Velez finds Anissa Morrow that finally gets it past half court, and that's knocked away. 5 seconds to work with for Niagara. It's sent up to Hartley. She has time, gets it off, and just short of knocking down after the turnover. So even though LSU has this lead 60-27, Niagara, a team that has so much fight, so much heart, and closed out, unable to get the bucket there, but a nice defensive series.
Well, they are a team you can tell that is not going to quit. I've mentioned that full court press over and over, but they're not going to pull off of it because this is who they are fundamentally. They're a team that wants to turn you over, makes you wreak havoc, and they've done a good job, but LSU has just way too much firepower.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Aaliyah Parker and Angel Parker as well. Not with Niagara, both averaging double figures on the season and not able to suit up with LSU right now. Samaya Smith, as you saw, left the game with a right knee injury. We're not sure if she'll be able to return, but LSU has moved on and are rolling to start. Michaela Williams, 14, and Anissa Morrow finding her rhythm in the first half and has finished leading both sides with 16.
I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you and the amazing audience that you guys have. Personally, this is a wonderful thing for me because I'm an avid basketball fan myself. But obviously having this Cayman Classic and having the teams that are here with their amazing followers and fans is beneficial to the Cayman Islands, because not only do we get the coaches, the assistants, and the players coming to experience our product and our restaurants and our hotels and our scenery and our environment, but we also get the fan base that comes along. This year we have the women for the first time, and that's pretty awesome. I think because the women basketball groupings have grown more and more, and you can see that in the numbers, particularly with the WNBA, and I see that over the next decade it's going to grow even more. So it's time for the women to shine, and I'm so glad about that. This classic has also helped us with our local community. We have a strong basketball following here in Cayman. A lot of young people who want to be able to become basketball players, but they don't never get the opportunity unless they travel to the United States to see that top tier level of athleticism. So we love the fact that we can bring them here and show what NCAA can offer, and our kids are inspired by that. So the Cayman Classic has truly grown within our community. Basketball courts are being built all over our island now. The business community is supporting it heavily. So I think basketball is going to be a big part of our future here in the Cayman Islands. You know, when people go away, they want a number of things. They want safety, they want quality service, they want reputable brands with accommodations. Obviously, they want a wonderful environment, and they want kind people and amazing food, because you got to eat, right? And we score either an A or an A+ in all of those. And I think that that's what distinguishes us amongst the rest. Now, we don't produce a lot of things in the Cayman Islands other than kindness and smiles. And so we make sure that we keep focused on the little small stuff that people appreciate, so their memories can last forever. And I know you've probably heard this before, but the Cayman Islands is the #1 culinary capital of the Caribbean. So we have different restaurants with different palates. And when people spend their money in our economy, you know, they keep our people employed, and, you know, the government makes revenue through the various taxes. And besides the economics of things, what we love the most is memories. We're a very kind set of people. We feel so proud when somebody says, man, I love the Cayman Islands. It gives us joy, particularly whenever I travel. Oh, I've been to the Cayman Islands, it's so nice. That's really what we're all about.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping, jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff, only at Smoothie King.
Well, down in Stingray City, you can see this beauty, one of the grand tourist attractions here at the Cayman Islands. You know what? I think we should definitely go, Kelly. I think we should definitely do it. But before we step there, we got to look into the highlights. LSU could easily come into this game and say, you know what? We can take it easy on Niagara, but their passion on the defensive end was displayed throughout the entire first half.
And I think for Kim Mulkey, that has to be a testament to the hard work your team has put in. They have not taken a play off, and I think that's been led by Haley Van Lith. Anissa Morrow has been phenomenal. Last year, Poa comes in and gets some of her own, but there's some great performers, but I think overall, it's just that the firepower of LSU has been on display, and they've needed all the aggressiveness, everything in order to get this huge lead.
Anissa Morrow has gone off within this first half. She has 16. Also has 5 rebounds to add to that as well. 5 for 7 from the field. Michaela Williams, how about her start? 60% from the field.
Yeah, you know, we knew that she could put up a lot of points. She's a volume shooter. 42 points in a game earlier this season against Kent State. And she did not disappoint in this one. Neither did Flage Johnson, by the way, coming out with some flair and flash and doing everything.
If you're just joining us, Samaya Smith left the game in the first quarter due to a knee injury to the right knee. We're not sure what the verdict is on her return throughout this tournament, but we definitely wish her well as LSU starts off with the ball and turning it over with Flage Johnson trying to go back door. Also, both teams without key pieces. We already mentioned Angel Reese not with the team for the 3rd consecutive game, and Katari Poole as well. Katari Poole not with the team for LSU, and Amelia or Aaliyah Parker and Angel Parker, the sisters, not with Niagara, their 2 leading scorers.
Yeah, both of them injured, and I mean, that was a duo. They're not twins, a couple years apart, but they had entered their name in the transfer portal at the end of the season and had a great conversation with Coach, took their names out, and they were looking forward to this season. Unfortunately, injuries have occurred. We hope to see them back on the floor. Of course, Jada Pierce really hopes that they're back on the floor earlier than later.
Yeah, Angel Parker, unanimous all-MAC first team the past 2 seasons. 4th in the MAC in scoring, 2nd in steals to her sister, of course, so not sharing the wealth there, but you mentioned how good Niagara was on the defensive end. We saw it in the first 2 minutes of this ball game, but to do it without Angel Parker as well as Angel Parker and Aaliyah Parker, that takes a blow in the depth.
Well, yeah, you know, in the tournament last season, in the MAC tournament, Aaliyah Parker had the first triple-double in the MAC tournament history. So this is a player that is so good on every end of the floor, and her presence is definitely, her lack of presence, excuse me, has definitely been felt.
We talked about Samaya Smith as she just comes out from the team as Michaela Williams slid that left foot, and a travel call will be made against LSU, and Smith at the end of the bench now for LSU and has a right knee brace on. You see there, just coming back from the locker room, being helped out from team personnel as well. So just not a good sign for LSU.
Yeah, she had tried to get up and jog a little bit and found out quickly that that was not going to do anything. And Haley Van Lith off to the races. Flage Johnson filling in on the break, gets the pass and finish. Haley Van Lith and company have not backed down.
So Niagara continues in this scoring drought as they're about 2 minutes into this ball game and have yet to score. And just a sad look for LSU as Samaya Smith, who's averaging about 14 points per game and almost 9 rebounds, out for LSU at this point. But the show goes on as the Tigers score in transition. The nice dish from Haley Van Lith. Flage with a nice finish.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping, jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff, only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
LSU in charge here in the third quarter, but what it all comes down to is that, yes, you have basketball, but you have opportunities to create some incredible memories here, too, at the Cayman Islands. Everyone here for the Thanksgiving break in Niagara, taking full advantage on this boat tour that they had yesterday.
Yeah, you cannot be in the beautiful Cayman Islands and not go into the water, go see the water. I mean, there's all kinds of things that these teams have done, and Niagara really taking advantage, a beautiful trip out to sea on a catamaran. And Coach Jada Pierce said, we are going to take full advantage while we're here, and this is what it's all about, basketball, team basketball, and fun.
I love this, the history for Niagara as well, when you're looking at the bio that came up on the left part of your screen, a squad and a program where the staff comes out to watch them at all times, and that the support is always there, and what they are able to do as a Catholic school and the support there as well. And just a really tight-knit group.
Yeah, I'm so proud of their Vincentian Catholic deep roots. And, you know, they said the AD came out and flew out to watch them. A lot of family. They have small class sizes, very faith-based, very service-oriented is this school.
I think we were having a conversation. Reminds me almost of a Belmont, where a lot of the athletes are able to do mission trips and take advantage of opportunities within their faith-based universities. Anissa Morrow continued to climb on this one, now has 18 points as they balloon their lead to 36. You said one word about LSU to start the game, and you said adversity.
Yeah.
And what they've seen from the beginning of the season, dropping their season opener, their first defending champions to drop a season opener since 1996. We have a stoppage at the top of the key, but for them to lose to Maya Smith, more rotation within the lineup, not playing with Poole or Reese that we've not seen on this trip, but yet because of the depth, because of the mentality too, just winners for LSU, finding a way to make it work.
And you have to credit Kim Mulkey and what she is doing in the locker room. She is all about her team. I mean, I'm not sure there are more loyal people around that woman right there. She has a staff of, seems like 50, and these are people that love her. I mean, she is beloved by the people around her. You see Coach Starkey there on the bench behind her, came back just because Kim Mulkey asked him to. He was ready to stay at Auburn, and of course comes back, and the rest is history. Got himself another national title last season as an assistant, but yeah, she knows a thing or two about building programs. She's done it as a player, assistant coach, and head coach multiple times.
It was awesome too because of the history with LSU, for him being a part of those teams that went to the Final Four, not being able to come up with the title, as Niagara able to drain the three on that last possession. Making sure that he was able to experience that with them is really special. She's told us too that he is an assistant that needs to be in the Hall of Fame, or definitely tossing his name in the hat for that honor.
I love that, and that should be the case with all he's done in the game of women's basketball. Last year, Poa takes a second, finds an opening, gets it inside, and no surprise, Michaela Williams on the finish.
I was able to call a game for Michaela Williams during her Nike Summit debut, and just to see how strong, how solid, how the foundation of her game is pro-ready.
Wow.
You think about the ascension that she can continue to make within her game, but the confidence that she has, the size that she has as well at 6 foot. I don't know right now who she could remind me of, but she's just a solid player.
and she's put work in the weight room. She is a very difficult matchup to anybody that has to defend her up top. Anissa Morrow showing us a little of her quick hands.
Rims down for Anissa Morrow. Wanted that after the steal on the other end. Dish on the inside. Poa trying to contain. This is sent out. Buckley. I don't know if it's just the Cayman Islands light in this gym, but is it looking like Flau'jae Johnson is ready to just slam one of those down?
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen anything close to it yet. Her rebounds, she's up way up above the rim.
Flau'jae Johnson, 5'10". I need to know the vert.
Right. Yeah, she takes it with authority inside, and again, with Angel Reese and Tamaya Smith not in right now, she's got a lot of room to operate on both sides in the paint. Watch this shot. Watch this rebound. I mean, shot is missed. Look at that. Takes it up off the rim, puts the ball on the floor. I mean, not a lot of college players can play like that.
Michaela Williams went for the rebound, is actually going to walk away with her third personal foul of the day. Going back to that Flau'jae Johnson rebound, I mean, just for her to walk away from last season as the SEC Freshman of the Year. Started all 36 games as well, and the first McDonald's All-American that Coach Mulkey actually was able to bring to LSU.
And, you know, there's something to that too, right? When you have high expectation from others and from yourself to be the reigning freshman of the year, as you said, in the SEC, to be a defending national champion, there's a lot on her shoulders, and she has not come out in any way with a sophomore slump.
Hicks on the inside for the nice teardrop. Del Rosario puts it off the glass. Anissa Morrow rebounds her own miss, and on the second attempt couldn't knock it down. The pace from Niagara. Buckley able to knock it down. Buckley had 15 points in their game against Stonehill, 5 rebounds as well, and is really starting to turn it on offensively. Flau'jae with the Euro, short on the shot, took a hard fall and has yet to get off the floor. Niagara scoring on the other end, and this is the last thing you want to see for LSU as she's helped to her feet after taking a really hard fall after that shot attempt. Good to see Flau'jae Johnson come off the floor. She grimacing, walking towards the locker room. We'll have an update hopefully when we return.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
For over 35 years, Tortuga has baked the original rum cake in Cayman. From our kitchens in our homes to exporting across the world, proudly baked in Cayman has always been at the heart of everything we do. Our recipe, handed down by 6 generations, has remained a secret to this day. Each Cayman cake is handcrafted and made with love, from our family to yours. Today we honor this tradition with our Cayman rum cake, exclusively made in Cayman, exclusively sold in Cayman. A Cayman tradition to be proud of.
So on the previous play, here's where Flau'jae Johnson had an attempt at the rim, took a bump, and then had an awkward fall. And had to be helped to her feet. There was a timeout called with 4:07 left in the third period and was sent to the locker room. I'm not sure if she's back on the floor. I think she is within the huddle now, so that's good to see her within the huddle. But let's go back to their performance last season. Ended 34-2, getting the first national championship in program history. We all know where we were when we watched that game against Iowa. 102 points that they scored over Iowa in the national championship game. And of course, we got to mention Angel Reese, the 34 double-doubles, the NCAA record that was held within that as well. We saw so many different things that they were just challenged in the NCAA tournament. How about the game against Utah as well, where free throws were on the line? And LSU was able to escape that one, escape the game, a tight one against Miami as well, but went on and had a great game in the Final Four. Actually took on Virginia Tech, a team that is in this field as well.
And they will get a matchup here in the next week.
Yeah, for the SEC-ACC inaugural actual challenge, no longer the ACC Big Ten Challenge. So this will be a test for sure, but also Kenny Brooks, as you saw that going to break in attendance, checking out who's gonna see in the next few days.
To go back to LSU and what they did last season, they really put women's basketball to a new level nationally. And you know, you think about the amount of people I had coming to me knowing I'm a women's basketball player and mentioning that final game. You know, we wanted to see Caitlin Clark, but oh my gosh, who's this LSU team? It almost seemed like LSU in that final game emerged as this darling of women's basketball with Angel Reese at the forefront. And now, you know, you think there are 4 double-digit scores in this game. 3 of them were not on that national championship team last season.
And I think when you look at the journey to a national championship, sometimes you need a little luck as well. And I think for LSU, being a team that was challenged throughout the SEC and had to see South Carolina a couple of times, but talked about what they needed to do and be challenged to get better. And finding a way to actually walk away with the first program title. You know how difficult it is on that journey to a championship. What can you speak to as far as the team and what they have to have down the stretch?
You've got to have depth. You have to have people that do what they do well, not play outside of themselves. And I thought that's what LSU really had. You know, you think of players like I've mentioned earlier, Samaya Smith, and obviously there's some players that left from last season, but people knew their role. They did it well. They also, as you said, had some fortunate experiences when they maybe some teams lost in a bracket they were in. They didn't have to play them.
Haley Van Lith with the finish. Another and one for the transfer out of Louisville, making her mark with the Tigers.
It feels like a home game here in the Cayman Islands for LSU. The response to this finish, Haley Van Lith always with the fire after a finish like that, but to see the fans on their feet, LSU, they could travel well.
Completes the three-point play.
And you've got to think, you know, going back to that championship, that's why Haley's here. That's why Anissa's here. They have not been able to taste that, and they were both played for really good ball clubs in Louisville and DePaul. Yeah, but that's been elusive to them is the national championship.
Yeah, last year for Haley Van Lith and wanting to experience that, being a team that was in the Final Four with Louisville as well, knows what it takes to win within the ACC, but now on the national level, what is that going to take to get them over the hump? If you're looking at the experience and the talent on a roster, you think, like, they have to be the team, and it was no doubt, obviously with them being the defending champs, but also what they were bringing in, almost like that no-brainer of who had the most talent and who you were expecting to be the #1 team, but still piecing things together. But Hailey Van Lith finding her way and her purpose within this roster.
Yeah, and the fact that you mentioned this is her last year, and this is, Kim Loki said it, one of the hardest workers I've ever coached, which says a lot, by the way, in terms of what she has been able to coach, and very strong players. But to put the work in, you know Hailey is not going to let her team not win a national championship, right?
Not Hailey Van Lith, but Anissa Morrow saying, I want to be a part of the conversation as well. What a finish on the other end.
Yeah, girl, we got you too. Almost a steal too. You get the sense like she's playing back in her DePaul days right now, remembering what it's like to drop 40 like it's no problem, averaging double-double.
Last tier Poa in some trouble. Sends it back to Anissa Morrow, finds Hailey Van Lith, and that's a connection you could get used to.
Again, Niagara, with the full court pressure, is leaving way too few people back to defend LSU in transition.
And Niagara trying to hesitate against getting more fouls. They have 4 players with 4. Dish on the inside, and that's stolen. That's Tirpoa sending it. 23 seconds and a lot of contact underneath. So LSU thought that was going to stay with them, but it's actually going to go to Niagara after we saw that contact on the block between Del Rosario. So she picks up her second. Final seconds of the third quarter. Niagara looking for their first points in the last 4 minutes of play.
And now an opportunity at the line for Niagara.
And also an interesting foul by Last Tirpoa. She now has 4. So Michaela Williams and Last Tirpoa now with 4 fouls and a conversation with Coach Mulkey.
I love it. Always coaching, right? I mean, this is what she does best. She gestured toward the clock, right? You have to see time. You know that you are already sitting with 3 fouls, and that's what Coach wants. Even though they have a giant lead right now, she is not coaching for right now. She is coaching for March. She is coaching for the next time they play an opponent. She wants her players to do things perfectly.
The leak outside at the rim, nothing there. Hicks is able to rebound, and that will do it for the third quarter. As you mentioned, LSU taking full charge in this ball game with an 81-39 lead after the first 3 frames.
LSU has done it on the run. Niagara maintains this full court pressure, and so LSU 26 points in the fast break alone. A lot of different players coming in on this one. 4 in double figures. Hailey Van Lith leading the charge, but many around her helping out.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping, jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff, only at Smoothie King.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
LSU playing pretty well, Kelly. What we've seen so far through the first 3 quarters, 81-39, doing things without Samaya Smith, Angel Reese, and Kateri Poole at this point. But when it comes down to Anissa Morrow, who is leading this team with 22 points, 8 for 12, the thing that you said was she's trying to find her rhythm. She's done so far.
Oh, she's been tremendous. It has been magnificent on the defensive end. We've seen her have multiple steals. She runs out in transition. She's leading the break, or she's filling lanes in the break, and she has been so active around the paint, and her ability to finish against defenders is second to none.
So as we start the 4th quarter, and Niagara able to get the ball first and the buckets as well. We welcome another person in our booth right now. We're trying to see if he can hear on the headset, but we're excited to join in the principal actually here at John Gray High School, John Clark, the principal that's able to join us for the broadcast. We're gonna wait till he can hear us. You got us? All right, perfect. We are working things here in the booth. Almost like Flau'jae Johnson, which she does in her booth as well. But thank you so much, John Clark, the principal here at John Gray High School. And I think just the first thing, the excitement around the inaugural women's tournament, right? Just having this coming off an incredible season and being able to not just have the men's tournament that's been here, but now the women. We've seen a couple of students in here as well. How does that play off of how this benefits for you guys?
It's an incredible opportunity for our students at school. We have about 1,300 students in the high school here, and obviously we've been really appreciative of having a men's tournament here for the last 5 years, and then now with the women's, this just sets it to a different level. You know, it's not just that girls are inspired by the girls, the boys are too. Some of them have never seen this level of elite women's basketball. Wow. You know, they get very obsessed with the NBA. You know, they have different opinions on the WNBA, and now the boys are looking at this and going, wow, you know, these girls can really play. It's such a positive thing for us to see student athletes, you know, and I keep stressing the word student, in our gym, you know, playing at this level is exceptional.
What's been the response from the community to know that you guys, you know, in your school are housing this incredible tournament? And obviously, you know, we're bringing in a lot of people to hotels and business and things like that. What do you feel has been the response to what you guys have been able to do here?
Well, we're such a small island, but we have big aspirations, and the school has big aspirations. You know, we're really on a journey, and this is so important for the island. You know, we have a fantastic tourism product here. It's so close to the US, you know, the beaches are fabulous, the climate's fantastic, especially at this time of year. Things are just being able to cool down. We're just coming out of the hurricane season. We had a great year this year with no major storms so far. So it's a beautiful place to come and visit, and I think the community have been all behind the tournament. I know our parents are very excited about being here, and you know, we've had some great response and great crowds here already.
I think, first of all, I know that we just celebrated Thanksgiving, and so it was exciting to be here, but you guys do Thanksgiving a little bit different here.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we've got lots of Americans in the community, especially in the financial industry and the tourism industry, but yeah, we show a little bit of any chance to celebrate here in Cayman, we do. So we try and join in with the Thanksgiving celebrations, but we have our own Thanksgiving celebration later on, normally the first weekend of December, as we come out the storm season.
So we obviously are on the island. We have heard about all the things and all the attractions that you guys have here, but tell our listeners, what are some of the great experiences at the Cayman Islands? What are those things that you would say you have to do when you come here?
Yeah, I mean, we get people come in for the day, we get people coming and stay in the hotels. If you come in for a day, people tend to head to the main tourist attractions. You know, we've got a fantastic turtle education center, a turtle center, which really is about conservation and protecting the green turtles here on island. The beaches and the water is just beautiful, warm, crystal clear. So, you know, so the snorkeling, anybody into diving are fantastic. people getting out on the water. There's lots of companies that run boat trips, very simple boat trips, even for people that don't like being on the water. You go onto the inside of the island, and the calm is nearly always, the sea is nearly always beautiful and calm. It's a great experience. And you know, the biggest selling factor for me, I've been here almost 8 years now, is just what we call Cayman kindness. You know, the people, I hope, are very, very welcoming, and I know our Minister of Tourism, Mr. Kenneth Brown, would know that that's one of the big selling points. You know, he's always talking about it. You know, I hope people that visit here get that welcome from the people.
Principal Clark, I'm just upset that my partner Kelly wasn't writing this stuff down, because we're going to need some things to do during our free time at some point. But I know just from our experience being here at this point, such a lovely island, seeing the students come in and out, their joy, the looks in their eyes when they see the athletes on the floor, such an incredible field. But you told us before we were able to bring you on that your time coming over from London, making sure you're establishing this school, and even this arena, what all went into it to make sure that and ensure that this is one of the greatest tournaments that athletes could come to?
Yeah, you know, the school, there was a plan to build a brand new school here. It was just a building site when I came, and with support from government, we managed to start off with transforming the gym, so we could host national events like this, and also this is the biggest hurricane shelter on Ireland as well.
Oh wow!
It's the biggest secure building, so in an emergency, this is where everybody would come. And also we have a lot of the infrastructure for the new school that you'd see behind us here. So we've only just been in that school for not even a whole year yet. We came across in March time of this year. So that's been fantastic, that whole building program. And just again, you know, we want to bring people from all over the world and inspire our young people here. We got about 500 students through this afternoon to see games. You know, they won't be here tomorrow because school's out and many of our students are busting from other areas of the islands. But with the men's tournament, we managed to get about 1,200 students through. You know, and it's hard to measure what that gives a student. You know, it's not just seeing the sport. As I said before, I explained to the students that, you know, these students are all studying, you know, and they have to keep their grade levels up. And there's a journey, and look at their work ethic, and look at the hustle on the floor. Look how they pick each other up. You know, they're not putting each other down. It's very easy. We have a lot of issues, you know, globally with things like social media and teenagers. Yeah. You know, and they're seeing people working here together, not against each other. You know, what about the hits and the number of likes on a post? They're working as a team and picking each other up off the floor and winning and losing together. And it's a fantastic product. You know, the NCAA is an amazing thing for the students to aspire to.
I love hearing that. Okay, so you have this amazing gym, this beautiful facility. I want to know, how are your boys and girls basketball teams?
You know, they're getting there. We get some. We're getting there. We get some fantastic coaches on Ireland. You know, we're beginning to develop players here. We have had some players playing at some good schools in the US. But you know, the competition is limited. So we try and get overseas whenever we can. There's good programs. We've had trips recently to Canada, and there's been trips into the US, and it's the same with things like our swim program. We need to get across to Jamaica and the US as much as possible to try and play. So I'm hoping things like the tournament will help us extend those kind of links. You know, I hope we can really get across and, you know, really appreciate what happens in other parts of the world. Many of our athletes, you know, tend to be kind of quite big fish in a very small pond. You know, and it's really important they realize the options that are out there for them.
I don't know, Principal, it sounds like you had some playing skills of your own. Are you a former athlete?
Yeah, once upon a time I actually played for our national team in England.
Wow.
And I was involved with coaching the Great Britain team at under 20 and under 18 men. So
basketball?
Yeah, I used to do it. Basketball, yeah. So this is fantastic for me.
This is your world.
I always kind of gave this a little bit of a push, and you know, we made sure we got a great floor in there, and I made sure I attended every meeting, and you know, we had a lot of support on Ireland from people that really want to see sport excel and sports tourism excel. But you know, no expense has been spared to try and make sure this is a good venue, and you know, we'll take feedback from everybody and do everything we can to make this tournament as best we can for the players, the coaches, and people like yourselves that surround the game.
I tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you join us and just talk about not only what the school and student athletes can aspire to be as they're seeing, you know, it on full display with the top talent in the country, but also just putting a vision to work. And we're seeing it come to pass with an amazing tournament that we're so excited to be a part of. So thank you for opening your arms to us and allowing us to cover this great game of basketball.
Thank you so much, and you're most welcome here to the school and most welcome to the Cayman Islands. You're always welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll take you up on that. Thank you so much. That was Principal John Clark here at John Gray High School, an amazing high school, and we saw a couple of the students in and out of the gymnasium throughout today. This is the second game that we've had, and just to be able to see them and be able to interact with them too, that's what makes this so special.
Absolutely, and you hear the screams from students in the arena right now, but you know, John Gray is a government school. There's a lot of expats that live here in the Cayman Islands, and so it's very international, and they love that about the island.
What a pleasure. You just never know who you're going to be sitting next to, and just seeing how basketball is, you know, beyond borders, and seeing how much it's grown internationally is just really special.
I love that you picked up that he was a basketball player. I mean, he was on the national team. What in the world?
Flage Johnson on the other end, able to finish at the rim, gets the and one, and this game has been all LSU as they continue to just put points on the board and play with the fire we've seen throughout this entire game. So we'll step aside. They'll do the same. Flage Johnson will get a free throw after the break. Take a deep breath. Free throw on the way.
Those empty calories just leave you feeling empty. Enough sucky sucking, more power sipping. Jam-packed with whole fruits, organic veggies, and super boosters. So, no bad stuff. Only at Smoothie King.
I mean, this is the player she is, always trying to get better, always keeping at the top of her game.
One of the cool stories about Haley Van Lith, too, is that she has one leg that's shorter than the other. So you can see her walking with this kind of a wobble from her, but she actually puts inserts into her shoes to make sure that she can counter it off. And you would think that a player that has had to adjust in that area can just shoot past you and put so much extra work in to her play. It just puts her above everyone else.
And you got to think that, you know, you've been hearing that, a leg discrepancy. Like, so she's not a Flage Johnson who's the most athletic person on the floor, right? She's had to work for everything she does, and that is what she's watching. That's what, you know, we just talked to the principal of John Gray. That's what he's talking about. He's trying to teach his kids that hard work pays off.
Absolutely. We'll see a plethora of Substitutions for LSU on the next dead ball as Hartley just all over the floor for Niagara. And the starters will get a break for LSU and a much-deserved round of applause from the LSU faithful in attendance. So the different shade of purple clapping as Haley Van Lith goes down the way and make sure as everyone understands how dominant they've been today. But Niagara on the other side saying, yeah, our defense isn't going to go anywhere, regardless who's on the floor, as they force another turnover. But the thing for Niagara is they're at 29 turnovers for today.
That is...
And giving up 34 points off of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's LSU defense right there. If they're, whether or not they're getting a steal out of their defense, they are causing havoc on the Niagara offense. Even that, just a simple pass to the wing is tipped away because they're overplaying on the defensive end, and it's not stopping.
The freshman, Janae Kent, able to knock that one out of bounds. Strong with a strong move. Couldn't finish at the rim, though. Ramani Bartlett, the junior out of Cleveland, Texas, brought that one down, but a quick turnover for the Tigers.
A misplaced pass there by Velez, who's trying to get on the break.
You talked about the special play that we've seen throughout this last
my husband took my kids aside and went through a whole little full Wiley pass. Levels. Those coaches have been committed, and I'll tell you that the high school ticket might be the one to get. You got to fill those stands, just like this is a high school facility for this John Gray Arena. This is the place to be. High school basketball is something to watch.
Yeah, we had another upset earlier today. You had UConn that lost to NC State, now ranked.
Princeton almost knocked off UCLA and then went on to beat Oklahoma.
So upsets up and down the top 25, which has made this season so fun. I had someone ask me, who do you think is going to take it all this year? And I was like, I don't know, and I'm not kidding.
I have absolutely no clue. The parity in this league right now is incredible, and I just love that we get to be here for it.
How about the ranked teams in this tournament? We came on the show talking about the 4 teams that are ranked in the top 10. The top 10?
That's
UCLA, UConn. They'll be actually the game that we have last for today. I mean, you have another really good matchup on the other side of this ball game between Kansas and Virginia Tech, a team that had program history last year with Kenny Brooks and getting to their first program Final Four. Led by Elizabeth Kitley and Georgia Amore, who is a player that is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, you got to see her in person. Getting our first look, too, at the walk-on and beloved favorite for LSU, Izzy Besselman. They love their walk-ons, and she has been a a fun part and has celebrated, won a national championship last year with this team. I got to sit next to her dad in the airport and got to know a little bit about her. She's a local kid, and her family came out and traveled to the Cayman Islands, are enjoying a lot that the islands have to offer, but you love it when those local kids stay home and got the walk-on spot. They got a ring to go with it.
Yeah, 19 games during her freshman season, as you mentioned, as the walk-on, and has a title under her belt, and it's really awesome when you can say, I'm from Baton Rouge, I'm playing for, you know, the best team in the country that is right next door, and create history there as well.
Yeah, and she used to go to Kim Mulkey's camps back at Baylor, so she's been a Kim Mulkey fan forever, and she was fortunate to have her favorite coach move to her favorite town of Baton Rouge.
You know what's crazy too, as you look on the sideline of Kim Mulkey and you see the shirts that coaches have in this tournament, this is maybe the most chill outfit I've ever seen Kim Mulkey in, and it's Tiger stripes.
That is a really good point. I hear it's purple hoodies, by the way, tomorrow, like a rain jacket.
You would think that this is a three-point ball game with the amount of passion that Niagara is playing with right now. Every possession on the defensive end matters to them.
Yeah, it's such a well-coached team. Coach Jada Pierce says that the people around her are just as important as her. And look at her, 1:21 left, down over 30 points, and she is still coaching this game.
I mean, you have the parents clapping in the stands and 100%. Up on their feet, just with the effort that they have. There are no All-Americans on this team, and they're without two of their top performers for this tournament and through the season. But yet and still, the heart of this team, the togetherness of this team, the relentlessness of this squad, you got to respect them for being able to show up and playing two of the top teams in the nation within this tournament. So because Niagara is just playing that well in the fourth quarter, they are outscoring them right now 22-12 in this frame.
I mean, that's commitment to the process, right? You don't look at the score. Coach Pierce told us before this game, this tournament is about growing together as a team and as individuals, and they have taken every opportunity in this one, not stopping at all. She told me earlier that she runs her team almost like a football program, where there is you saw Coach Les down with them. He's the defensive coordinator for this team. There's an offensive coordinator, that's Coach Bree. Coach K has been so integral on the staff. And then she said her director of operations, Coach Schuyler, has been the one that has made all the plans, and they have enjoyed themselves to the full while they've been in the Cayman Islands.
How about that? Izzy Besselman gets on the board for the first time today.
And you saw the reaction from the crowd. And then the hustle on the rebound for Besselman. Great job staying in the action. This is a player that could have taken a scholarship somewhere else, but chose, and great choice, by the way, to stay and be a walk-on and win a natty as a freshman.
Blocked on the other end. Niagara able to get it back, takes the bump, 2 free throws on the way. Just 61 seconds left in this ball game, but the way Niagara plays, the way that they are together right now, you would think that we're about to call a buzzer beater.
Right.
So Dickerson at the line for Niagara.
And that starts with the top. That starts from the top. That's Coach Jada Pierce, who has enthusiasm. She has energy. She has been here for a while. This is her 9th season at Niagara, and she has built a great program, and she has centered it around her defense.
This is a team that just doesn't get tired. Knocked away, and a foul. That's going to go against Velez. So more free throws coming up for Rome.
And then just mishandled the pass, and Niagara has been in the full court press for 40 minutes in this game. They have not relented, and they have the advantage here in the fourth quarter.
This is the first of the pair. Niagara already has 2 players out, fouled out 3 of them. 1 with 4, Strong with 4. And have just not let off the gas.
And still without their top 2 players who are out with injury. I mean, this is a team that's got some depth.
Del Rosario responds on the other end as we're in our last minute of play.
And LSU getting awfully close to that century mark. Remember, they average in the high 90s in points per game, so this is nothing new for the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, right at their average, Kelly, 97 points per game. As a nice rebound on the other end. That one's going to go to Amani Bartlett. And Del Rosario just misses it. Rebound brought down, though. And Janae Kent was able to get the rebound.
I wanted her to slam that one down. I think the players on the sideline did too.
So they're in the bonus. LSU will get 2 free throws. So Janae Kent, 5 for 8 on the season from the free throw line, and knocks down the first one. The freshman out of Oak Forest, Illinois, season high in minutes on Monday, and actually tied the season high in points as well in the same contest. So the last couple ticks on the game clock for Niagara, as Hartley able to draw the foul there, and she just continues with her impressive play.
And she hasn't quit. She was our highlight player to start this game, and she has been so impressive. She stands at 5'3", but doesn't play like it. Has got a nose for the basket, finds players who are open, and she sets the tone defensively. She's at the top of that press, and she has quick hands and makes reads so well. She's a big part of what Niagara is going to do this season in the MAC. Number 1, by the way, in the preseason in the MAC conference.
Hartley knocks it down, takes it to 65, and you might see them just hold this one out as the final ticks are finally off of the game clock, and Niagara drops this one back to 2 and 3, and LSU Tigers, the defending champs, move on to 6 and 1 on the season. They will have Virginia for tomorrow. And we already saw Virginia take down Tulane earlier today for their first actual win against Tulane in program history. So congrats are in order to Kim Mulkey, as she had to play without Samaya Smith for a good portion of the game, who went down to a knee injury, did not return. And down Angel Reese and Kateri Poole as well. So a couple of things that you saw from LSU to just top this one off.
Well, obviously Niagara never quit, but I would say LSU never quit. You mentioned it early, the tenacity that they came out with and continued through this game, right? They knew they weren't coming in against a ranked opponent,
right? But
it didn't matter. They played to a level of perfection. They expected it of themselves. They expected it of one another, and I thought that's what was so impressive. I thought this was one of the best games I've seen Haley Van Lith play.
Yeah.
And obviously without some of the key players, there were so many others that stepped in. I mean, Anissa Morrow had a game, Flage Johnson, and then Michaela Williams just wowed us again. 19 points and 5 boards for her.
I'd have to agree with you. Seeing Anissa Morrow too, I think one of the biggest keys was that you were like, I want to see her get into her rhythm, and for her to finish off with her season high and 28 points with the Tigers, 10 for 17 from the field, and walked away with a double-double. So I think for Anissa Morrow, she has said, you know what, I'm going to slide into this spot. I'm going to own who I am on this team, and she made it look so easy within this ball game. So a great win for LSU. They'll have another one tomorrow against Virginia as we tee things up for our next one. Kansas and Virginia Tech will be taking the floor next for our third match of the day. Haley Van Lith being interviewed, and as well she should. Great job by Haley Van Lith. We'll have more action after the break.